Ray, the lawsuit filed by atheist high schooler Dawn Sherman in Chicago to prevent praying in her school. I am so tired of atheists trying to dictate policy regarding prayer in schools. It's estimated that 86% of the American public is Christian and favors "In God We Trust" on our money and "One Nation Under God" in our Pledge of Allegiance. The minority atheists cite the Constitution every time. No problem. Since this country was founded on a majority rules basis, we can change the Constitution. Used to be blacks and women couldn't vote and alcohol was illegal. We amended the Constitution and we can do it again. The 86% majority shouldn't be subjected to what a few atheists think. During the time that others are allowed to pray, maybe those that don't want to could just sit there and wonder how this perfect creation of earth could just be the result of some big bang or whatever thoughts they have. Think of whatever they want, but don't tell the majority of us what we can't do. Where's a politician with enough backbone to stand up for what we want? These are the people you want to reason with, right? Frank. Frank sounds like a real reasonable dude, doesn't he? Hey, maybe you should just calmly explain to Frank the different omnipotence paradoxes. Or maybe just respectfully point out to Frank the myriad of contradiction inherent in his Bible. Or I know, invite Frank over to your house for dinner and a screening of Zeitgeist. You know, the sentiment of Frank's letter to the editor here is not unknown to me. It's one of those things that's so fucking horrible that you just stuff it way deep down inside of yourself and hope it goes away. And every once in a while you read something or you see something or you hear something that reminds you that it's there and it smacks you in the face like a ton of bricks. That's what happened to me today as I leafed through the opinion page of my local newspaper. I was reminded exactly how unreasonable Frank and people like Frank are. I was also reminded what the ultimate goal of people like Frank, these millions of fundamentalist evangelical Christians in this country. I was reminded what their ultimate goal is. To read this letter, you would think that somehow Christians are persecuted in this country, that Christians are somehow downtrodden in this country. As if you can walk out your front door without tripping over the doormat of a church or bumping your head into a fucking billboard for religion. Right? Religion is so ubiquitous in this fucking country, and yet to read this letter, you would think that it's just under attack from all fucking angles. You would also think from reading this letter that for some reason prayer is not allowed in public school, and that couldn't be further from the truth. The high school I went to, there was a public fucking high school, by the way. There was a gigantic group of Christians every lunch break that would go out on the front lawn of the school, government property, by the way, and hold hands in a big circle and pray. And nobody ever said peep to them. Nobody ever fucked with them. You want to know why? Because it was voluntary. If I didn't want to deal with their shit, I didn't have to go anywhere near them, and that was fine by me and fine by them. Frank doesn't want prayer to be allowed in school because prayer is already allowed in school. Frank wants prayer to be mandatory in school. And it doesn't stop there. Make no bones about it. The ultimate goal of Frank here in this fucking letter is theocracy in America. All right, that's what Frank wants. Frank wants his religion, his particular brand of religious myth, to be foisted on you and your family and your children every time you turn around. And he wants it to be government mandated. Now, if you want to fucking reason with somebody like this, and I don't mean to look down on people that aren't as fucking emotional as I am. All right, if you're the type of person that thinks that you're doing some good, rattling off a bunch of logic at people like this, and never showing emotion, never showing anger, never showing them how pissed off you are, then that's great. Do what you gotta do. Pop your fucking whoop, but don't presume to tell me how I should react to shit like this. Because let me tell you something. If somebody like Frank ever pops off within earshot of me some bullshit like this, he's gonna know exactly what the fuck I think. Alright, he's gonna leave that conversation knowing exactly where I fucking stand. And exactly how pissed off I am. Not in my fucking country, Frank. Not in America. Not here.